probably 3 sections of pasture back here, right off the fields. There's a coyote. See him right there in the fence line?
I don't. Oh, now I do. Well, that's good news.
Yeah. It'd be better if there was another one right over here.
You ever get cows killing your coyotes?
Yep. Stomped them to death. I've had a few.
These bloodshot eyes of knowledge, too proud to ever behold the all that is this and nothingness out on the bad river road, out on the bad river road.
That's a nice coyote.
See that because of the color?
Yep. Well, they're all heavy up here. There's another one. There's one right up there. The cows are right up to it.
These two were probably traveling together.
Yep. I usually don't set this close together, but I did. Look at him.
Yeah, if those cows could get across the fence, they'd probably kill him.
Could be.
And this one behind us here.
This one's a nicer, whiter coyote.
Very nice color.
He's pretty mellow right now.
What's that noise?
Geese.
That's all geese.
Yep. No, it's cranes.
Cranes.
Yeah.
Wow. You suppose that one's a pup, Dan?
I don't know. I don't think so. 2 years ago, when I caught pups up here, some of them were tiny. I'm guessing that's a male up there, and this one's a female.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think it might be a pup, but it's a nice size pup. Does your pole work that fast?
My pole never did work.
No.
It's too heavy a cable.
These work.
Expensive. Dan, those traps are laminated.
Yeah, I did this.
And what is lamination?
It makes the jaws way thicker. These are laser cut. They're perfect, made perfect. I tighten up the gap a little bit in them. I don't like a 1/4 inch gap.
And that's just so it's easier on the foot?
Yeah. See how wide the jaw is in? It's pretty wide. Doesn't hurt their feet a lot most of the time.
So if you wanted to, you could release that coyote.
Oh yeah. He'd be fine. I doubt if he'd even be limping if he run away. I know he wouldn't be limping.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by SCHEELS All Sports. Follow your passion for everything outdoors. By DAKOTA line snares and trapping products. Snares loaded for speed. And by Wiebe fleshing and skinning knives. We are wicked sharp. We are Wiebe.
So if you wanted to, you could release that coyote.
Oh yeah. He'd be fine. I doubt if he'd even be limping if he run away. I know he wouldn't be limping.
That's just a baggie you're using for pan cover?
Yeah, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, taught me about that about 15 years ago. They work great.
Is that Odon?
No, Tim Reed. They go in a roll right here. They're just easy to use.
I can smell it.
Can you?
Yeah.
That coyote's yipping up there. Sometimes I'll put one rock there. I will use a lot of stuff like that for the bobcats, so. That's a white coyote. This is a big male. Cows are not happy with him. I thought this was a male up here. We didn't even see this one when we drove up. It's only 50 yards from the other one. She was hiding. There was a bunch of cows by her, and they didn't like her. This one was the one we saw first. It's her pup. This is a big female.
Dan, when you say heavy fur, that means it's longer?
Just thick. Look how thick the fur is. And it is probably longer too, but they're just thick fur. That's what you call a heavy coyote.
as compared to a semi-heavy.
Yeah, they won't be. Yeah, there's a big difference. But
On your trap placement at these coyote sets, do you have any magic formula, or do you just put the trap where it goes?
no, I don't go by back 10 inches or 11 inches or whatever. I get it up pretty close to the hole. I'd set them the same for fox. So no, just right in front of the hole, not to the side or one side or the other side, just kind of right in the middle. I think there's a lot of these sets. I'm not saying they're going to avoid a circle every time, but a lot of them won't go on it. A lot of coyotes won't. I'm not saying they won't go on it sometime, but a lot of days they won't go on it. There he came back, didn't he? No.
You got a double.
They were both, that other set was the one I caught the badger in. Those are both pretty coyotes. That's going to be a good picture. Well, I set these right here. This is a canola field. I don't like setting in canola, but this bare spot going through here had a lot of coyote tracks in it, and it was the only spot I was going to set in this field, so I did put 2 in. I don't set a lot of doubles, but so it paid off, I guess.
Typically, you can't go wrong setting on sign. Once in a great while, there'll be a lot of sign, and it could be coon or it could be coyotes, and that particular critter's moved on. But in this case, Dan had a gut feeling, and it sure paid off.
Out on the leather road.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Redneck Convent, gear for the rugged, tough outdoors. By F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, everything you need for trapping and hunting. And by Southern Snares Trapping Supply, our customer success is our priority.
In my hand here are 2 ground talon earth anchors, and they're made by Cold Creek and sold exclusively at Southern Snares and Supply. They're made for land trapping, and they're made out of cold rolled steel. Very solid product. I'm going to pound one into the ground so you see how they work. The beauty of these is that you just need a simple driver. This is a pointed rod. It's 3/8 inch, can be rebar, smooth bar. You probably have something like this in your garage or shed or in your basement. And so, like on some systems, if you hit a rock, your driver gets dinged, you're done. Well, this is so simple, that's not the case. So you just thread that rod into there, right into that point. And this is the heavy duty, by the way. Okay, we're in. You can twist this out. That's why I like a T-handle on these, because you can twist them out. Now to set this in the ground, we're going to give it a tug, and it's just going to go flat. That's how it's designed. Okay, and I swear, it's not coming out. A mountain lion's not going to pull this thing out. It's in there. So those are called the ground talons, Southern Snares and Supply. And Dan is using the ground talon. Now back to the double that he caught right before the break. I mentioned this on the last episode, but Dan is very efficient. It's repetition, it's redundancy, it's doing the same thing over and over, which makes him so efficient. I greatly enjoyed the time with Dan, and I came away with a few things, but the main thing is simplicity. He doesn't overthink it. And in fact, look at the gloves he's wearing. Those are to protect his hands, it's not for scent control. He uses the same gloves to drive with, to apply lure. And in fact, one thing Dan does is he smokes a couple cigars throughout the day. And Dan is successful, he's a veteran. Some years he exceeds 400 coyotes. Simplicity is where it's at.
I bet their puppies are pretty. Because they're pretty. In December, these would be pure white. He doesn't even know we're here yet.
Oh, you go. Yeah, he's kind of just, he's probably sleeping.
He is sleeping.
He's curled up.
When you're ready and tape it, I'll beep the horn.
All right, now ready.
The other day, I had one. He must have saw me. He must not have been sleeping. I was a half a mile from him with the wind blowing toward me, and he was bouncing. He had to see me coming. This one never hurt us. Got a couple coyotes here. There's a big rock underneath here somewhere.
Take note of how Dan's locations are always along edges. I call it the edge effect. Critters follow edges. I don't care if it's deer, fox, coyotes, coons. I mean, there's habitat there, there's cover if they need to flee or escape. On this line, it's about the edge effect. It can be roads, they're kind of an edge too sometimes, but in this farm country, it's all about edges. And then behind Dan, take note that there's a rock pile. Rock piles are excellent.
The wind went more to the southwest now.
Add a rock pile to a location and that makes it all the better.
Really fine dirt.
Also note Dan's tool bag, everything has a spot and it always goes back. He's really very organized. His truck is cleaner than most trappers. He puts it away and it's there next time he needs it. He knows just where to reach.
To the one who blessed this morning out on the bed road.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Cold Creek Trapping Products, serious trapping gear for the serious trapper. By Mark's Tech Animal Lures, top quality baits and lures with proven performance. And by Wiebe Knives. Don't ever get caught in the field again with a dull knife.
The other day when I came down here, after I'd set these the first time, these two four-wheelers right here were parked over by the gate to the left here. And I had a coyote in there and they left in a pickup or something, the guys did. And they parked these four-wheelers right here. My trap is 10 feet behind them. The next time I came, I had a coyote in that trap. Those four-wheelers didn't bother that coyote at all. 2 years ago, they were done harvesting when I got up here, October 10th. Last year they had a little bit of stuff out, yeah, and this year was a mess. There's another fox. I thought I saw him back there. The first two times I checked this set, I had a coyote in it, and now we got the fox. So they must not mind coyote smell, it doesn't scare them. So he came in and got caught. These coyotes up here, they eat a lot of grain. There's wheat in there and straw, some grasshoppers. So they don't just eat meat.
Dan is using a dispatch pole that cinches down around the neck. And what it does is it cuts off the blood flow in the carotid artery. It's very efficient and, in my opinion, very humane as well. There's never any blood, and that coyote's eyes dilate almost right away when he cinches that down.
Well, I tell you what, they don't get better than that.
Well, that was quite a run we had with my friend Dan Roberts. And Dan caught 16 canines on this day, a few other critters too. And after his northern trap line, Dan goes down to Texas and he traps coyotes and bobcats. And down there, a lot of the ranchers pay him to trap because the fur does not have as much value and they need managing. Both Dan and I are wildlife managers. We harvest the excess critters and then we put them to use. These critters go all around the world and they are used by people that not only want them, but they need them for warmth. So next week, and you don't want to miss it, join Red O'Hearn and myself down in the land of Elvis. It's going to be a great time. So until next week, peaceful waters.
I've been known to wear a brown one and a green one. It's like two different gloves. That's why you pick up signals.
The Bad River Road. The whole wide world's at your fingertips.